Before I tear into it and pull the spring out of it and grease it up, I want to see how many times it'll play before, and then I'll have a comparison to after. Hopefully this one doesn't explode on me like the phonograph spring did. It's as unwound as I can get it. I was trying to leave that support in place, but it looks like it has to come off. Oh yeah! Still had some on it. No matter how careful I try to be, I got it now. This part I find the most interesting. This has the overwind protection. There's some smart people that thought of this stuff. See, this basically, once this goes around, it'll jam itself in there so you can't wind it anymore. I think I have to pull this pin to get that on camera. All these have the end scooped out. That one's solid and has a punch mark on it. That way I can remember how it goes back together. Okay, now carefully let it go. Oh, there wasn't much on it. Oh, something let go inside. I'm committed now. I don't know if I can freehand this. It's coming. Okay, that's off. I guess I have to disassemble this also. So then get good footage of this. I think all the parts on this side I'll put on a different part of the table. Oh, that was really driven in there. Looks like there's some kind of little felt on there. Putting this in order. There we go. A bunch of Marvel Mystery Oil I'd put in there. So this is what let go. This is going to be fun to put back together. Let's see if I can get that in the shot there. So that has to hook to the inside of the spring. See that little gap in there? So I'm going to have that all connected when I put it all back together, or it's going to fall off the end. You can do this with leather gloves on, but on something this small, you know, I'm just going to be careful. I don't really feel any sharp edges on this spring, and this is pretty small compared to what I'm used to. See how hard this comes apart. If not, then I'll just clean it the best I can, grease it, and push it back in. Okay, this thing's going to be difficult, so I'm just going to unwind it like I do the phonograph springs. You got to be careful. You pull it out and you walk the spring out. If you aren't familiar with these springs, then don't mess with these or you can get hurt. You can use gloves, but the problem with, you know, the gloves will help you keep you from getting cut, but I need the dexterity. I can't work with them. So you got to walk the spring out by hand. If you're not familiar with doing something like this, don't do it. You can really hurt yourself. There we go. Now I can put it back in. Guess I'll take this opportunity to get a little blob of grease. Oop. Deep in there. I'm currently a diesel mechanic, and I've been a aircraft mechanic for 18 years before that. So I work hard with my hands every day. So you may not have the strength in your hands like I do. So most people don't unless you're a career mechanic. So if you follow along and do what I'm doing and you get hurt, it's on you. Okay, that is back in there. Nice and greasy, so am I. Now I've got to make sure that this gets on there. I got to get this together, and I can't let go of this or the spring will pop off the end of the shaft. To keep a little bit of tension on it. Let's see if there's a way I can just kind of screw this in here so it'll be held in place with this other gear, and hopefully I can slip the pieces on. Okay, there's some tension there. Hopefully that doesn't unravel on me. That was very difficult to get together. Now I got to put this side together. These screws are slightly different. Okay, that's back in. Now I got to put the other side back together. I don't want to put too much tension on it, because I have to put the overwind protection back on it. I want the whole drum to rotate around because it's inaccessible where it's at. I'm trying to get the machine to play. So I've got to repin it. Then I'm going to have to figure out how much tension I want on this thing. I don't want it to overwind, but yet I have to give it enough tension that it'll, play at least through most of the songs. I don't know if this ever played through all of them brand new. It seems like 12 songs is kind of a stretch for such a small spring. I don't really have anything to go by either. I don't know how these performed. Well, that's part of the fun. Okay, that's in there. Now I got to figure out how much wind I want it to have. I don't want the spring to be so tight that it damages it or tears it. So this is going to be trial and error.